What's going on? I'm Peanut. This is my guy Rome, and this is the NFL Player Second Acts podcast. I actually called you Roman this time. I should have called you.
No, it's good. I'm Roman. Thank you. We can just keep it going. I'm gonna be getting called a regular name today.
This is the pastor that's gonna preside over my funeral right here. I like the pastor outfit you got going on.
I am dressed. We're in New York, so
you
I
can't
look
see
like
his pants.
I'm walking the streets.
You can't see his pants right now.
I'm not gonna show them either. So, anyways, look. Anywhere you listen to your podcast at, first and foremost, we always want to thank you for our listeners, our viewers. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. Give us a rating, a review, 5 stars. I'm telling you, I'm not asking you. 5 stars. And wherever you listen to your podcast, whether it's Apple Podcasts or iHeart Music, Radio, please give us a link. Hit follow. Let's do that. Peanut, who is our guest today?
An oldie but a goodie. I gotta read his resume because it's like 15 years worth of
It's a
thing.
lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot of. Yeah, let me just get to it. Undrafted in 2005. Went to Cal. Went to Carolina in 2005. He's made 2 Pro Bowls. Was the defensive MVP in 2016. Mm-hmm. Got him a car out of that.
Yes, sir.
He paid the taxes on that.
Okay. Yeah. He was made second team All-Pro in 2016. Was the Buffalo Bills Walter Payton Man of the Year recipient or nominee 3 times. His nickname is One Man Gang because he is his hard-nosed play and his versatility, and now he's doing amazing things with his foundation through ACES with flag football. Ladies and gentlemen, the most interesting man in the world, Lorenzo Alexander.
Appreciate that, fellas. Appreciate that.
I like the cow. You got the. I like the shirt. I got that same shirt.
Okay.
The cow hat and everything.
Yeah, it's a little custom. You know, I was in Buffalo for a while. That's where New Era is. So I got some people over there that kind of made me a one-of-a-kind hat. So
that's what's up.
I did not realize New Era's out of Buffalo.
Yeah.
Lorenzo, you just turned 40.
Yeah.
How's life, man? I saw your Instagram post, too. And I just got to be honest, your birthday post to yourself, beautiful wife, amazing family. But the interception, bro, you ain't had to do that.
You did not. That was bad.
First of all, it was a great break. Great break. Came right over the middle. Didn't even hesitate. Bob picked that thing off. Old man quarterback definitely was staring it down. Right. Boom, picked it off.
It was.
Then you had to drag the boy for the last 3 yards, though.
Well, you know,
and then you spun on him, too.
And everybody looked at him.
Let me just... I really enjoy playing those type of games because I'm technically a big man at heart. So when I came out, I was 315 pounds of D-tackle.
Yeah,
so
we want to get into that.
Oh, yeah. So we can talk about that. So anytime I get to be athletic and play DB, I'm going all out and giving you everything because Prime was my favorite player growing up.
Yeah, as he was everybody else.
So, like you said, you went undrafted out of college, out of Cal. You were 6'1", 315 pounds, over 300 pounds coming out of Cal. You don't. I didn't even realize you played defensive tackle until I was looking up your bio and stuff. And so, internally, you don't get drafted. You thought you were going to be a mid-round guy. You don't get that call. Why do you not stop? What says, you know what? Because you can take it either way.
Yeah.
Why do you not stop? Why
well,
do you
initially,
go from there?
You still say, well, I'm good, right? They don't know what they're talking about. Mm-hmm. So, you get out there, you work out. I was in Carolina, as we mentioned. I had some good mentors down there. I was down there with Julius Peppers, Briston Buckner, Mike Rucker.
Yeah.
Mike.
So it's just
really good D-line.
Yeah.
That's what they were known for. That was like
Morgan. So that's one of the reasons why I picked to go there as an undrafted guy. Let me learn from these guys that was playing a 4-3, had just come off of maybe a Super Bowl berth either that year or the year prior. So just a really good organization. And so get down there. They had drafted another guy, Tia Ellison, and Jovan Hay might have been the other D lineman in our draft class. And you practicing, you can see that I can do what they do, right? I can fit in here. Maybe not what Pep does, but everybody else.
He's in that league of his own.
Yeah. Maybe not what he can do, but everybody else, okay, I can see myself in them and maybe playing, and how they play. And then you hear people or coaches talking, and then you learn about some of the things that are out of your control as a football player.
Yeah,
A guy going down another position, or we drafted this guy, so we want to give him a shot. You're only 6'1", things I can't change, but you're a good football player. And so going through some of that stuff, being cut, being released, I guess ultimately I knew that I could play because I was out there with those boys playing and making plays. And then I also had my mom and my uncle that were really the foundation, because at one point after I got away from Carolina, I did think about quitting, because that flying back and forth when you are a free agent.
So we were
East Coast guy. Or if you going, like I was in Cali, right, and then fly out to Baltimore, fly out to Minnesota,
just for a
workout, and not get signed. And I'm a Cal dude. I'm like, man, I'm about to go get my master's or something. I'm not doing this. This is not my life. So, but they encouraged me to keep going. And then I actually got really lucky when I got to Washington. Had a workout with them, and they actually chose another guy during the workout, but he pulled his hamstring, and I got on that way and never looked back ever since.
So what did you really learn? What did that teach you, though, going from team? Because I know we literally talk about that. I was like, man, he went from team to team and to go, and you living in this hotel.
It's really tough being that 54th, 55th guy on a roster.
That's a lot, that's a lot of stress.
Well, not only that, but Peanut, I ran 140, bro. That was like coming out.
You're right.
You go to tryout, you running.
Right.
You got different coaches looking at you for just a couple minutes. And you have to go through this process over and over and over again.
It's
and
like
not only that, but then
the time.
But not only that, but then get told no.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that has to really wear on your mind, your confidence, because you got to be confident to play ball. And so how do you continue to do that? How do you continue to grind? And also, I also read a story that you kept a pair of cleats. Like, did you really cleats was just in the bag all the time?
You just never know. But when I look back at it, I actually had a boy that was, we had a frat house, that's what I called when I was in Washington, Burrow Toller. He would come in, they would switch between him and another guy, offensive lineman, every week.
Up and down, or
up and down, cut. He would leave, then he'll come right back, and he'd be like, we had like the third guy in our apartment, because we were sharing an apartment. Trying to save money back then. So for me, it's crazy. I look back, that my journey as far as being on that kind of circuit really wasn't that long. It might have been like 5 weeks where I was like really just coming off the couch to see if I could get on a team, and I was able to catch on with Washington, by God's grace. But I think that's really what it was. I had great mentorship at every place that I was at. Whether it was London Fletcher when I was in Washington, or Brinson Buckner when I was in Carolina. Those guys really showed me what hard work looked like. I was in Baltimore for like 3 or 4 days and saw Ray Lewis like up close personal, right? I'm like, oh, this is why this dude is great. Just his work ethic, right? You get to get around greatness. And so for me, it was a great learning experience, because I saw where I wasn't working, where my shortcomings were, where I thought I was doing something, but like, man, you ain't working if you want to be on this level and hold down this type of job and, deal with all the pressures. But it mainly came down to me understanding I only can control what I can control, and I can't worry about all the other stuff, because I used to get migraine headaches and be stressing and over stuff that I can't even do nothing about.
Right.
So I just had some real good wisdom from some older guys kind of telling me how to, let some of that stuff go as best you can.
Yeah. So I think the three of us, we have been truly blessed with having long careers, and I think we all know that the NFL it's you're here today and you're gone tomorrow, and it's super quickly. And I've had some great moments. I know you've had some great moments. We had some great times. 15 years, that's a long time, bro. Like, what was one of your proudest moments of your career?
Wow.
Out of 15 years.
There's a ton. I would say the Walter Payton is probably the one that stands out amongst the rest.
That's really cool, because you get the insignia on your jersey.
I never actually won the award. I'll tell you a little funny story. My last year, typically they give it to guys on their way out or later in the year, right? They want to see some maturation. My star was never as bright as some other guys. I was kind of right there, always like a high-end blue-collar guy. But we were I think it was in Miami, my last year, 2019. We're sitting there. This was the first time they actually had asked, because you won it, right?
I have won it.
Yeah. Asked me like, hey, what would you say? Let's talk about a couple of speeches, where you're going to be sitting, make sure that you're in your seat, right? And so it's like 2 or 3 other guys they're doing that with the finalists. And then they open it up and say, this man comes from humble beginnings. And me and my wife kind of get ready to so you can stand up when they say your name. Calais Campbell. I said, oh, you just kind of shut down inside. But Calais is a great guy as well. I was just there. But that was kind of like funny as far as me, because I had been a nominee 4 times prior to that, and that was my 5th time. So, and I was retiring.
Calais was the first round pick, wasn't he?
No, I think he was a second round pick. But Clay, I never knew he went to Miami, but I didn't know Clay was he was homeless when he grew up.
Oh, I didn't know that. Like,
right,
you really talking about like
humble beginnings. It was like, oh man, that's real right there. I didn't have to deal with that.
I didn't know that either.
Right, so it was just that kind of stuff. But that I think just being around those guys, I've gotten to know a lot of them, play with a lot of guys. Thomas Davis is another guy I played with. He was actually in the same draft class in Carolina, or same rookie class. I didn't get drafted. So
same thing.
Yeah, right. So just a lot of those different guys. It's not.
I'm trying to help him out.
He's the first round pick.
It's not. Yeah, it's definitely not.
I'm trying to help out. It's like, no, it wasn't.
Yeah, so just different guys like that throughout my career. London had won it 1 year as well. Yeah. Larry Fitzgerald. So I've been fortunate to play with a lot of these dudes and get to know them and who they are and how impactful they are in the locker room, and then more importantly in the community. And coming from Oakland, single mom, my dad wasn't around. My uncle stepped in. So to be able to give back to the community that way and be recognized by your teammates, it was the coolest thing. Because every locker room I was ever in, our teammates voted for that guy, and so to be recognized by them, because they're gonna tell you the truth, as far as who you are, what you're doing, and so to be recognized by them was really cool.
Yeah, the award has come a long way. I know since winning it, when I won it back in 2013, I was the Bears nominee a couple times, and what they've tried to do with the award and the money that they've raised.
Oh yeah.
Like they've
significant.
It's a significant amount. Significant. From when I did it to when Thomas Davis, when he won it,
right?
Like compared to what it is right now, like they are doing some amazing things.
Even just to be nominated by your team is a significant amount of money to your foundation,
for sure.
Right? And so like
they didn't used to do that.
They didn't do that.
It was like $10,000, I think. Maybe early, maybe even when you won it, they didn't even do that.
They didn't even do that.
Like earlier on, I would get like a $10,000 stipend, which is great money to get back to the community,
exactly.
put on the event.
Yeah.
And then by the end, it was like up to $50,000 because you would split it with the local United Way, and then the winner would get $500,000. And his
crazy, these is like life changing,
right?
For a lot of
people,
things.
Right?
And just so people know, like the player doesn't get that money. That money goes toward the player's foundation. I just want to make sure,
we
throw that out there.
Yeah, the program
we ain't
right
getting
now.
that money.
It's impact.
100% charity.
So Lorenzo, man. So I didn't really recognize all of the hoops and the things that you went through in your career early, right? To get where you are. Like I didn't realize you were a D lineman, a D tackle. Right, I only recognized you when you were doing like the special teams, you were balling out in Washington, and then later on in Buffalo when you were really the starting outside line. I thought that was who you were your whole career.
Same.
The same thing.
I kind of read. I was like, wait, D tackle?
Yeah, I had
315.
No idea.
Where did I come from?
I have to share this as I looked up more and more stuff on you. Is that so? As you started to trim down, all right, you're in Washington. Shanahan's got you playing offensive line, tight end, fullback, and D lineman at times. You're mostly a special teams guy, and they're like, okay, we're going to 3-4. We need you to get down.
Yeah.
You're like, okay. I'm whatever it takes. So a one-man gang, I got it, right?
Yeah, Fred Smoot, by the way. Give a shout out to Fred Smoot. He gave me that nickname.
One of the funniest people I've ever met in my life. I forget Fred Smoot's his rap album he released one time. Oh my God, that was funny.
Man.
Anyways, shout out to Fred Smoot, good dude. That's my boy. Smoot. And then all of a sudden, you got on P90X. That is the most taboo thing I'd ever heard. But like,
what was
that's what you
name?
did.
That was I can't remember his name.
He had the dark hair, white dude.
But the fact that you implemented some of that into like your workout to just get down.
Yeah, right. To be able started cycling.
Yeah.
I mean, I did some like MMA kind of grappling because we had a guy that used to do some of that, had a gym, and guys would do Eddie Mason. He had a gym out in Virginia. And so I would do all those things. But to your point, it actually started with Joe Gibbs, man. And you talking about old school football coach, and most of these young cats don't even understand what football used to be like in the early 90s, 2000s, and Joe Gibbs goes all the way back to 70s.
Yeah.
Right. And so just a different mindset of dude. And so like my hardest days were like probably with Joe Gibbs, and that's really what I think my foundation football wise got set as far as the league. Padded practices on Fridays, hit them right in the chin, live drills. I mean, it's just different crazy.
Old school.
Right? Yeah, old school mindset. Old school. But during that time is really where it came where I was on practice squad, and I tell people that was my hardest years because I literally took every single rep that you possibly could take in practice. So offensive look, defensive look, special teams. I did not come out. I got, like, what is this? My man Rock Cartwright was like, man, this is how we work here. I'm like, man, this is crazy. But that's really how they saw me, right? How they saw me. Yeah, he's a good golfer. Yeah. It really showed them that I could be multi-dimensional. I could play some offensive line and hold my own with some of the starters and then be on special teams. Even though I was big, I was coming down. I could understand the concepts. I was always chasing Danny Smith around. Hey, man, put me on something because, for young guys, you get that special teams coach to put you out there, show out. You can at least kind of maybe secure. He'll stand on the table for you. Yeah, so it started being in the wedge. And then I remember one game.
The wedge.
Oh, yeah. I'm telling you, football is different.
No so for people that don't know what the wedge is, on kick return, you would get like the 4 biggest guys.
Yep.
They would lock arms like this and create a wall. And then if you were the wedge buster, the L5, 3, 4, 5 on kickoff, your job was just to run down and split the wedge, hit the guy in the chin.
Right, like exactly.
Oh my God.
Sometimes the 2 would have
so many concussions
set an
from that.
on the wedge guy.
Right, once in a while, I like the little 2 come down and try to scale. Ooh, I couldn't wait for that guy. Act like you don't see him. I don't see you. Yeah, I see you.
A big dude. Them wedge busters. Oh yeah, y'all was crazy.
Yeah, so doing that. And then eventually it's transition. I was 295 running down on kickoff at the 3 and running through the wedge.
Yeah, 3's definitely a wedge buster. Yeah. That's definitely hitting it.
So it just evolved over time. And so as they saw me do multiple things, Shanahan eventually got there, saw me covering on kicks, and felt like I could play in space. And so over those maybe 3 to 4 years, I would just lose like 10 to 15 pounds, P90X. When I got married, I stopped drinking. Riding bikes, just a ton of different things, cross training that really helped me lose that weight incrementally over my last 3 or 4 years in Washington.
All right, and as you were going through all of that, I want to get to one thing that's kind of serious, and I thought it was very vital. I'm a man of faith, and so could you maybe just share with the listeners and the viewers, all right, how you spoke about after Sean Taylor's death, how it really changed you? It's like, at this point, I'm giving my life. You really focused and you gave your life to the Lord.
So we already had guys that were kind of working on me. You think about James Thrash, Antoine Randall, another buddy that's more my age, Kendrick Ghostin. Just a lot of good brothers, men of faith, that were not only talking in the locker room about it, in their Bibles, but were living it out when you would go out or go over to their houses with their families. There's just something different about them. Mm-hmm. Pastor Brett Fuller was our team chaplain, had already kind of been talking to me, going to chapels. And when Sean passed, I think that thing he just kicked me over the edge because we were the same age. Mm. And you look up, when you playing ball, you feel like, okay, I'm invincible. Can't nothing stop me. I can do whatever I want to do. And that really, knocked everybody kind of back a little bit as far as, a guy that was here one day and not there the next day.
Here and great.
Right, great. Oh yeah, great. And was actually, as a man, was making a lot of strides from a maturity standpoint. Had just had his daughter. My wife now is really close with his fiance Jackie, and just getting to know their family a little bit. But just seeing that process, and then he couldn't finish it.
Right.
Yeah. To really become great on and off the field and become the man that he wanted to be, was just abruptly stopped. Yeah. And so I already had that working for me, and as far as like where I was leaning to, as far as people around me, and not feeling I was playing ball, making money, but I was feeling empty, and I didn't know what that was. And just watching those guys, and then seeing Sean pass really pushed me towards Christ and giving my life up and really trying to pursue him every day since then, back in 2008. So. Obviously that's a life walk. You're never there.
Right.
But definitely trying to continue to cultivate myself, right? Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, gentleness, faithfulness, discipline, trying to make sure I am breathing, living those things every day, not only for myself, but my wife and my kids, and then my community.
Hold on, hit that one more time. How many of those again?
It's a lot of them. Repeat them now. Look at you. So sometimes you forget a couple of them, though, right? hold on, past them. I'm gonna hold you. I think you missed a couple.
I told you.
I think you missed a couple.
I told you.
Yeah, love, joy, peace, patience, faithfulness, gentleness, and discipline. Sound mind. I think it's 7, right? Yeah. Okay, I'm good. All right.
I want to make sure we get that.
One more.
Check
all the boxes. You checked all the boxes.
That's it.
So I know when I retired, certain coaches or whatever, like, hey, can you talk to a player?
Right.
Talk to this player. Just mentor him, ask him a couple questions. I feel like we have a wealth of knowledge about the game of football, and I kind of know that's something you're doing right now. You know, mentoring other players, because you have so much knowledge about what you did right, what you did wrong, and the people that helped you along that way when you first started. So can you talk about how just kind of what you're doing now and mentoring some of these athletes?
Yeah, so the cool thing about when you play a long time, you just play with a ton of guys. Guys you forget about, man, like, man, I played with you. Like, dang, man. Or you have at least, 1 degree of separation, or you have a connection point. And so, obviously the later in my career, being that mentor in the locker room and helping guys, young guys come in, or even some veteran guys that sometimes try to figure out what life is all about, was something that was always on my heart as far as serving, the men in our locker room. And so transitioning out, having been part of the NFLPA's executive committee and sitting on the board as a rep multiple times, it was almost like a seamless transition to now work with guys as they transition out, and having building a relationship with Tracy Perman over the years, being part of the Man of the Year, because that's one of her initiatives that she works over as well. Had a couple of conversations and went to welcome, Legends Welcome, like when you retire, they bring you in. Mine was kind of weird because it was right after COVID. It was supposed to be in 2020, but it got pushed back. But went in, was talking to her and Laura, and they was like, man, you need to be a community coordinator. I was like, yeah cool. Because I was trying to see if I wanted to be a PA, player director, one of those guys that come in to help you, like, figure out the business. But this really, kind of fit what I wanted to do, as far as having time with the family, but more importantly, be able to impact the guys, because this is where a lot of guys struggle at.
And fall through the cracks.
Yeah, and because it's hard. I mean, it's hard for anybody. I mean, most people go through transition, right? But you can still maybe find a job that you were in, or a field that you love to do. I mean, there ain't nowhere else you're going to go play ball at a high level. I mean, you can go out to the park like I do on Thanksgiving, right? Have a couple of INTs, couple of TDs, pick sixes, maybe hit a guy on accident. You know what I mean? You can do that, but it ain't the same, right? You don't have the community, the locker room, that feel. And so being a part of a guy's journey and just really helping them understand that they are equipped to do anything that they want to do in life. And I think a lot of guys are stopped by fear and anxiety and that gap of, I don't know because I haven't done it, not realizing that the game has cultivated a lot of things in them that are transferable to anything you want to do. Just a lot of guys just don't see it, right? And that's just how we've been conditioned since we were whatever age you started playing sports, that being accountable, being disciplined, being humble or coachable, excellent has been just around that sport, and you haven't had to really apply it in other areas. And so I went back and got my master's in life coaching to maybe help guys, kind of see some of that stuff a little bit differently, because a lot of it's just reframing, helping them see it from a different perspective. Right, that you can still be impactful in life, because that's what you were on the football field. You're part of a team, going out there, doing your job at a high level, having camaraderie. You can build that in other spaces. It's going to feel a little different. It's going to look different, but you can still serve and have a purpose-driven life in another area without ball.
Man, that's beautiful. And we need more people like you saying that to other guys as they're starting transition. We've done some of these other interviews the last couple of days. Like, same conversation. Right. And it's all the time, and there is no perfect answer for it either. So it really figuring this out, hearing it more and more about every different person or guy makes me feel like, I think we really are serving more people, and more people need to continue to hear this, because this is a true feeling, a true statement, and it's understood by all of us, not just a few of us who actually struggle or go through certain things or might not be figuring it all out. So I appreciate that. And now I want to ask you another thing about something you're very passionate about, and that's your foundations with ACES and how you have partnered up with the NFL and the flag football and how big it's gone. I've seen the flag football league in my area here in Charlotte, North Carolina, and how it's blowing up. I'm signing my son up. He's going to play next year. So we're going to see how this thing goes.
How old is he?
He's 7.
Oh, okay, man. You want to fly him out to Phoenix every weekend?
Bro, if he's gonna get coached up,
you know what I mean?
If he's gonna get coached up,
he's always gonna get coached up now. He's gonna coach up. I coach him hard now.
That's what I want. And so it's funny because I'm always like, all right, when am I gonna let him play? And growing up, we were not told like flag football has any type of.
That wasn't even an option.
It was not
You
even.
didn't want to play
football
flag
at the
football.
park, or you could play.
There was no. That was
So
like
corny.
there's not even an option.
Right.
All you're doing is making them soft.
Yeah.
And now seeing it, the benefits of flag football. And I want to let you talk about most of them, but I see it because you learn how to play in space.
Yeah.
And a lot of the things
Yes.
that we do in practice every day, which is learn how to play the game of football without the contact to keep us healthy.
Right.
It's another way to learn the angles, the way the ball moves, plays, concepts. Please jump into it down a little bit.
You just said everything. You said you're going to leave it for me. That's everything right there.
There's still a little bit of meat on that bone.
Nah.
There's a little meat left on that
But yes,
bone
it's a
somewhere.
great space to be in. I have 2 boys. I actually have a daughter as well that's a freshman that's playing high school flag football.
I hope my wife hears that.
Right, because it's a sanctioned sport now.
Yes.
Depending on what state you're in, it's a high school. Like ours is an Arizona Athletic Commission. They have it in some NAI schools have scholarships. Mama want to hear
They're already
that.
out there. There we
Right,
go.
there you go.
It's free money.
Yeah, and so in a couple of years, we hopefully some of these D1s, right?
Yeah.
You know, SEC. So why wouldn't they do it? You know, the women
They give them the
love
video
football,
games.
right? Yeah. So that's a growing sport. So I've loved being in it, understanding all of the ramifications that comes from playing a collision sport like football, right? The concussions, especially when we played the first and even probably towards the end of my career because I was already conditioned. You running back out there after you've seen some black spots. It didn't matter. You smelling salts? No, I'm good. Don't come check me. Where's my helmet at? You know, I'm about to go right back out there.
I can tell you what the day is.
Right. Yeah.
I know where stadium I'm in.
Yeah. All that stuff that you kind of remember, so you can get back out there. To be able to protect my son, but still allow him to play a game that he saw me play, as well as my daughter to be coming to the locker room. That's one thing you gonna let your son play? I say, yeah. I'm just gonna push it down the road because I didn't play till high school. So to your point, and I think that's allowed me to play 15. I don't know. How many did you get in?
I got 13.
13.
I got 11.
11, yeah. I don't know if I could have played, and I'm still mad at Joe Gibbs because I think he took a couple of years off my career. early, that hard. If I'd have had more football earlier,
every day.
right. I don't know if I would have played 15 because it just gets hard on the back end. So, but just saving your body so that you don't have to deal with some of even like the soft tissue injuries in addition to the head or the concussions that you want to kind of limit. Because football, I tell my son all the time, and he's nipping at me every day. He's 13. He's going into the 7th grade. I want to play. I'm going to let him play next year. So he has 1 year before high school.
I did 8th grade.
Yeah. I'm going to give him, just to give him a little
Yeah.
feel for it so he's not getting knocked around. But it's a hard game. It's not like I kind of like it. I'm going to get out there and play like baseball, basketball. So I'm trying to save him from himself because he really doesn't know. And he complaining working out with me. He's like it's 100 degrees. I'm like, you're going to have a helmet and shoulder pads in this in another year or so. You're not going to be complaining
to get
then.
him right.
Right. So just get him to understand. But the flag football is allowed him to kind of play it, be a part of it, and then learn all those concepts you was talking about, which is going to be beneficial. You know, playing in space, evading people trying to pull your flag, moving your feet, hand-eye coordination. I mean, just all the things outside of the contact. The only thing that's different, obviously, is 5-on-5. And so as a coach, I have to start teaching principles of this is what it actually is going to look like, right, versus 5-on-5. But you can still do all the man-to-man and cover 2 concepts and cover 3 concepts with 5-on-5. You just have to be a little creative. Yeah. And so it's gotten them to understand. So they'll at least have some type of experience and knowledge of being out there. And so it's been beneficial. I mean, and it's really grown, and it's a lot of fun. It's very competitive, too.
Well, I think it's huge. Football is the one sport that in America you can start late and still be great at it.
Right.
If you got the size, the ability, like we can find a spot for you.
You know what I mean? And the mentality, right? Because it's not as skillful as like baseball, basketball.
Yeah. And, hey, shout out to your son. I saw him on Instagram hit that opposite field home run too, lead
off. Oh yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, that's Cooperstown. You know,
that's pretty big time as well. Cool, so yeah, this got to be cool as a father seeing your son shine in anything.
Yeah, he's way better than I ever was. Just way better.
And it's really cool to I started playing football in 4th grade. And so you can guys, like you said, you started in high school. And you hear these stories, and I didn't know it because I started so young. Peanut started.
I was 8th grade.
8th grade. Yeah. And you guys still played longer than I did. So it's still, it's more than one way to skin a cat. So I think that's really cool. Just continue to share that and encouraging more parents and families.
Well,
like,
if I'd have won a championship, I probably wouldn't have played 15. I was chasing a championship.
You
Both of y'all got rings, don't y'all?
I know.
Oh, you missed it. Oh, you missed it. Oh, I thought you. Oh, I know you got one. I know. I thought you had one too.
And you know he a jerk though.
Look, I didn't even bring it up today.
He always tries to rub it in my face, and I don't have a ring.
You didn't even bring it up.
You know what I'm saying? He always tries to rub it in my face.
Well, I thought both. I didn't mean to hit that. I thought you had one too.
Cool. I was
been to a
chasing
couple
it too, though.
Yeah,
been to a couple.
I've been to two.
Oh, okay.
I'm 0-2.
Oh, yeah. I've never been to one. I don't think I've ever been out of the first round of the playoffs. You know, so it's just a different grind over here.
It is.
You know what I mean?
But
you know.
That's
what I was.
As soon as you said that, I was like, I know we're all going to say something.
Yeah.
I think I went to the playoffs like every year in my career.
Oh, must be nice. Yeah.
Must be,
Yeah,
man,
Drew
what's
back
the
there.
next
Got a
question?
nice Drew.
Yeah.
What do you think, Drew? Why don't you give him a shout out?
Shout out to Drew.
Yeah.
He got that ring for you. He ain't even do nothing. He didn't do nothing. He ain't make a tackle. He ain't did nothing. No forced fumbles.
Yeah, you
no
went
special
check that. You got to have something to come back.
He ain't do nothing.
I like it. I like that the room's light. All right, I got a fun question for you. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. Do you remember your first NFL sack?
Yeah, it was Seattle Seahawks.
Okay.
2008. That was Hasselback.
No.
Okay.
Because I was with him.
Yeah.
He served on the EC too, so I used to always tell him, yeah, he was my first sack.
Okay. Did you have a dance or did you like?
Nah.
No celebration.
Do you know
Nothing at all.
who was that? Was that Gibbs still? No, that wasn't Gibbs. That was
you went
Zone.
so it was Gibbs.
But we had old school coaches. So we had you had him.
Greg?
Greg Williams.
Oh yeah, Greg. Greg off the chain.
Yeah, and then we had Greg Blosh. I don't know if you ever been around him.
I've been Blosh.
Oh yeah,
I had Blosh.
Did you have Blosh too in Chicago?
Year,
Yeah,
my rookie year.
So you know what? So that's where I came.
Old school.
And that's where I came from. So I'm not doing nothing.
Yeah, you just
undrafted. I made play. I'm going right back to the huddle, head down. I didn't do nothing.
Yeah,
he have you worried in practice over some steps, man.
Gosh, Blosh was
Blosh and then Greg. I didn't have to deal with him as much, but he was insane. The up downs. Y'all do the up downs drill.
Yeah.
Up down run and go get a cone. You didn't get the cone.
Yeah.
Gotta do
pursuit drill.
Pursuit. Man, what is this?
Yeah,
we had guys tear ACLs trying to die for that cone.
We had because it was 3 guys and 2 cones.
Yeah.
So it's like whoever ain't out, boy, you got the 10 up downs over there with the up down coach.
Right.
It was
everybody want to do that.
Yeah, it was bad. It was cats pushing people in the back. It was bad. It was bad. It was hilarious.
What was your welcome to the NFL moment?
Oh man, welcome to NFL moment. Man, I don't know. I don't know. That just threw me all off right there, reminiscing about Greg.
Yeah, Greg was
but he probably was my welcome to NFL moment, man. That craziness, man, over there, man. That was insane. Man, it would have to. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
We'll just call it that drill.
Yeah.
3 cones and up down.
Right. Did y'all have to do 40 up downs to like buy in?
To get in?
Yeah.
Yes.
So to be a part of the defense, you had to do 40 up downs, like first day of training camp. So it's like 40 up downs.
He's setting the tone.
And so but in 2009 when we were on the Super Bowl, we were like bringing in guys during playoffs just to like get us a good up down day because cats is dead. Different individuals after that. No juice. They done. So we bringing in cats off the street just like 40 up downs. See what they gonna do, bro. It's bad. It was. But I'm just glad I was not the only one that had to do that. Like this wasn't just us. This was. You had to get them too.
Right. Yeah, for sure. You know what? As you remember that Big Leonard Davis, Gerard, having to play one technique and talking about having good technique, trying to stay low on both them boys, low, dip the shoulder and the double team, and all you doing is just moving backwards. That was probably my welcome to NFL moment. That just kind of popped in my head.
Big dude.
Both of them dudes. And they had Colombo out there. That was just a different offensive line type of era when you just had all them dudes from team to team.
I was with
massive
in Chicago.
But but Leonard had to be like 400 pounds and just trying to hold a double team against them dudes and not have great technique and not be able to do anything until they decide to let you go. That was pretty.
Leonard got me in college one
did he?
time.
Oh.
I was about 180 pounds, and he just threw me like a grape. Just a big man.
Yeah.
Like
scary,
massive individual.
All right, go ahead.
Nope.
I got one. It's gonna be, I guess, kind of serious or make him think for a second.
Yeah, I know. That's why I say go.
Okay. we like to ask this to all of our guests. We ask them about their Mount Rushmore. Who is their Mount Rushmore of influence on your life? Your experience through football, life, all of that. You got 4. And
I think I know 2 of them already.
All right, but
man, my uncle Steve.
That's one.
Yeah, I mean, my mom is there too, but as far as football, she's more life. But my uncle for sure. London Fletcher would be 2. Man,
why London? I know the bio, but I want to hear the listeners. Let them know.
So obviously, London is probably. I mean, he should be in the Hall of Fame by now.
Yeah.
But one of the greatest linebackers ever played this game. I think he got 16 years in.
Yeah.
Won a Super Bowl. Went to another one.
Got like 8,000 tackles.
Right. I mean,
he's the deepest cover 2 linebacker I've ever seen. Too.
Yeah,
just playing over the top.
Just athletic, fast, strong, very intelligent. Probably the only player I think could have called the defense and then played at a high level and been very effective doing both. Man of faith. And then when I was in Washington, if you've never played for Washington, our facility was in Ashburn. It's near Fairfax, Ashburn, and then our stadium was in Landover, Maryland. And we used to stay in like PG County. And so that's an hour from Ashburn drive for home games and then probably another 30-minute drive to our stadium on game days. And he was one of the guys that I would ride to the game with every week during the season. We used to have some real conversations about life. And he went to John Carroll as a hooper, transitioned to playing football. I mean, he had some family dynamics that he just learned from and overcame and just learned about that and how he became, his marriage and then married his wife that he's with now and developed his family. Just some real, just good life stuff that you learn about how to be a man within this craziness of the NFL. And so that's why, London is way up there.
He's a pretty good golfer too.
Yeah, I know. I need to get with London, man. He's one. You ain't gonna never beat me, Zoe. It's all right. I'm coming. I'm working silently right now out in Phoenix, though. So I'll be out there. I'm gonna come out there and let you know when I slide through.
We got each other's number.
So who wins all the time with you?
We had not played against each other.
Oh, okay. He scared or you scared?
I'm probably
He's not that good though.
Oh, he's not.
Think he's good, but he's not that good.
Okay.
But I still call him when I need a lesson.
Yeah. So but I'm working silent. Who else is on that Mount Rushmore? I would say Danny Smith, special teams coach. He's with the Pittsburgh Steelers right now. He really gave me my first opportunity to play on teams and just taught me a ton of stuff. And then, man, I mean, there's just so many other guys that's right there. I can say Chris Samuels, probably Mike Sellers. Other big bro fullback, right? Another special team demon. He was 295. His 295 looked different than mine though. He was rocked up, solid. Looked like a little bodybuilder out there. So he'd probably be my 4th as far as just teaching me again the game and then life and then hanging out with him and growing up with him a little bit in the league too. So those are probably my top 4 guys. It's a ton of other guys that I probably left late in my years. You had Leslie Frazier too in Chicago. So I really enjoy being around Leslie Frazier as far as, he's a man of faith as well.
Leslie's a good dude.
Yeah, and just working, helping me cultivate my leadership later in my career and what transition was going to look like when I got done on top of just being just an awesome dude and being around and playing football for it.
Yeah. Well, hey, man. We appreciate you coming on.
Oh, yeah, anytime.
I know you got in like hella late.
Yeah, I didn't want to cancel on you guys, though, man.
So
I
appreciate that.
Yeah, if y'all didn't play ball, I'd have been like, man, I'll see y'all later, man. So
we appreciate that, though. Like, I really appreciate I know the flight delayed. You got in at 3. We got the 8 a.m. So you still came in. And
for sure, for y'all.
Hey,
good.
I think you riding with us over. We going to Philly later on to go to films, do some more stuff. So, yeah, we appreciate you. And,
always.
All right, man, go get a nap, dog.
I'm going to go get something.
Go get you a nap, dog.
Somewhere in here, right?
It is.
We appreciate you, man.
Appreciate
all right. Appreciate you guys.
I don't know why you drink that coffee. You finna be up now.
Nah. This is just something that just to keep me right.
All right. Appreciate you. Hey, I'm Peanut. That's Rome. That's Zoe. This is the NFL Players Segments podcast, and we out.